What is the best MCAT Biochem strategy for experimental passages? Imagine you're reading a scientific paper or a lab report and trying to figure out what the experiment really shows. That's exactly what you do on the MCAT in the biology and biochemistry section. The key is not just knowing facts but understanding how experiments are set up and what they tell you. So, what's the best way to handle experimental passages on the test? First, focus on reading the passage for the main idea. Don't get caught up trying to memorize every detail on the first read. Instead, look for the big picture. What is being tested? What the experiment is trying to find out? Pause after each paragraph and note the main points. Highlight or underline key phrases like the hypothesis, the variables involved, the methods used, and the results. This helps you build a mental map of the experiment. When you get to the questions, don't jump straight to the answer choices. Instead, think about what the passage provides. Many questions ask you to interpret data or understand the experimental design. Use the information in the passage to eliminate wrong answers. For example, if a question asks about the role of a specific molecule, go back and find where that molecule is discussed in the passage. It's also helpful to visualize the experiment. Draw a quick diagram or flowchart showing the steps, the control groups, and the variables. This makes it easier to see how everything connects. For instance, if the experiment tests how a drug affects enzyme activity, sketch out the control and experimental groups and note what is being measured. Another tip is to think about the scientific method. Ask yourself what was tested, how it was tested, what controls were used, and what conclusions can be drawn. This approach keeps your mind focused on the core of the experiment rather than getting lost in confusing details. During your practice, pay attention to keywords in the questions and answer choices. Look for phrases like most likely, best explanation, or consistent with. These clues help you pick the answer that aligns with the experiment's data. Remember, the goal is to understand what the experiment shows, not just memorize facts. Practice reading passages with this mindset. When you do, you'll get better at quickly identifying the experimental setup and interpreting the data. This skill is super useful not only for the test but also for future medical studies and research. So, in short, the best strategy for experimental passages on the MCAT is to read for the main idea, highlight key points, visualize the experiment, and analyze questions based on the data and design. Keep practicing this approach, and you'll find it becomes second nature.